Hello, this is Steve Diggle from Buzzcocks, and you're watching AMBY TV.
Hey everyone, it's Alicia from AMBY, and I would like to welcome you to our interview with Steve Diggle from Buzzcocks. Hello.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm good. We just come off the stage, as you know. It's a little bit high from a lovely crowd here in Toronto.
Yeah, it was an amazing set. Absolutely fantastic to watch.
Yes. Yeah. Well, it felt good, It's a good room here. It's all about the crowd giving it the atmosphere, They know the music. You get an hour and a quarter to share that thing. Two juxtaposed things. You have the crowd, and you get the band on the stage, and somewhere in the middle, that's where you see God, the devil, and all kinds of things, So the audience share all their experiences in one blender, really. So it's what they call magic.
Well, we are here celebrating the magic, the 40 years of Buzzcocks. When you look back at that number, does it kind of feel a little bit surreal to you?
Yeah, I mean, some days it's almost like we're just starting in a way, but you've got to live in the moment. Mindfulness, they call it now. I mean, you look back and you think 40 years is a long time, really.
Yeah.
But believe me, 40 years goes fast as well.
Does it?
So, yeah. I mean, I forget how many albums we've done, but I mean, you still think there's room for a lot more, But somehow time flies,
Well, kind of just take me back to the beginning in that signature Essential Sex Pistols gig. What do you remember the most about that night?
Well, it was our first time as a band on the stage, and all the journalists had come to review the Sex Pistols. We kind of brought them to town, to Manchester, because they hadn't done much out of town. They were just getting known. All the journalists came down, reviewed the Sex Pistols, and they saw this local band in Manchester, the Buzzcocks. So they reviewed us, and they was blown away, really, thinking like, wow, it's a band from Manchester. We thought it was just the Sex Pistols in London. That put us on the map, and away we went from there. I remember jumping in the crowd and going straight to the bar. So I didn't know what to do, we wasn't professional.
Yeah.
It was kind of like, well, what do I do now? I know the bar's at the end, I might as well jump in the crowd. And then run to the back of the hall and go for a drink. Which was very punk rock at the time.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, from that incredible moment, and here we are 40 years down the line, working on the songs and doing the songs and travelling the world and finding out these people relate to us all over the world, which is a great thing, Because you don't know when you're starting out what's going to happen, Every day you think, well, there's probably somebody down the road, a few doors down from where you live, and it goes a bit further. So there's people all over the world. And music's a universal language, and that's what's great about it,
Definitely.
I don't think people in music would really like to be politicians, but the actual music brings everybody together everywhere, and that's what's good about it, you're on the right side of the tracks doing music, I think,
You mentioned having a lot of records. So when you're putting together a set list, does it come as a difficult feat? I think you have over 150 songs.
Yes, at least. It is very difficult, because there's a lot of hits, and there's a lot of sort of ones that get played on radio, so a lot of people know them, but there's a lot of other songs that are just as good, and sometimes they don't get exposed as much.
Yeah.
But the solid fans know, like, the whole catalogue, so that's kind of good. But it is difficult to do a set list, It's like I say, if you leave a lot of them hits out, then people want the hits, but also they want some obscure ones. And I like the obscure ones, really, We don't do enough of them, really, but we'd be here for hours,
What's one obscure Buzzcocks song you wish that you could put in every night?
Well, stuff off the new album. When we did the new album 2 years ago, we played stuff like The Third Dimension, which to me is an interesting sort of groove and stuff. We didn't do it tonight. We've got to bring it back again, but we did stuff off the new album. And then you kind of go back to cherry picking. We did a couple of songs off the new album, People Are Strange Machines and It's Not You. And then you have to work through all the catalogue. But like I say, with 150 songs, it's so difficult to choose. And there's always somebody that comes up and goes, why don't you play that one? And it's like, well, you know.
We only have an hour and a half.
Yeah. You know, you could play it. Well, you play that one and then somebody else goes, why don't you play that one? So it's difficult, you know. But hopefully it's like a comprehensive list of what we played in. Trying to cover a lot of ground in that short space of time. Which, you know, hopefully there's something for everybody there. That's the thing, you know what I mean? You know, when we do songs like Pulse Beat and stuff like that as well, and that kind of take it into a different area, you know. So it's nice to do them as well, you know, and Nothing Left and stuff. A bit meatier, and then you've got the hit kind of things, you know.
It's a good balance.
So trying to get a balance, yeah. So I think we've got a good balance here for now. Yeah?
I'd agree.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. This is actually my second time seeing Buzzcocks live.
Right.
So tonight at the Danforth in Toronto, and then 2 years back at Riot Fest in Toronto.
Right,
but I remember
yeah.
looking back at old footage, and the one thing that always stood out to me was you guys love to smash stuff on stage.
Yeah, it's sort of an anarchist thing, you know. It's that's art in itself, really, you know. Noise is. I mean, before I got in a band, I had a box set of Stockhausen, you know. And Stockhausen said everybody's got an antenna, and it's what, you know, you're picking up signals from the universe all around you, and that's kind of what you're doing with songs, really, you know. Songs come out of the air and into your mind and your experiences and other people's experiences, all gets mixed in. But right from the first rehearsal, we realised noise was just as interesting as a tune, you know. So we try and blend a bit of both, you know, because it kind of opens up. You know.
Yeah, people vibe off emotion and feeling, right?
Yeah. Well, I've got in March, I think it was, when we came back from Australia, I recorded a new solo album called Inner Space Times. And I was telling the guy that's co-producing it with me, when I was 17, you know, you'd go out for a drink and then you'd have the hangover in the morning. My mother used to be vacuuming up, hoovering up. So I had a cassette system with like the big speakers in my brain. So I recorded that and played it back. So I go, this is what it sounds like when you get a hangover. So I was telling the guy in the studio when I was recording this new album, Inner Space Times, and suddenly he found a vacuum cleaner, you know. It's one of them little Henry things. I don't know. I said, but this song's in the key of G, and we said, okay, mic it up, and the vacuum cleaner was in the key of G. So all these years later, I've got the vacuum cleaner in the middle of this song.
It all comes full circle.
And it all comes full circle. Yeah, I couldn't believe it, you know. From telling them a story, so that little thread's still there. And if you look at the Buzzcocks catalogue, there is some noise and bits and pieces there, including noise and noise. Yeah. But noise is as interesting as the tunes, you know. So it's a lot of extremes, really, you know. We've got lovely melodies, and then to counterbalance it up, you know, the avant-garde and the feedback is good, you know. Makes it a bit more exciting rather than just restrictive, you know. It feels a bit primitive and primeval in terms of, you know, that kind of ambience of the world. You know? I mean, that's partly what Harmony in My Head's about, the ambience of the streets. You know, it's not really to do with your head, it's to do with walking down the high street and shopping malls, you know. Like this one here, the Eden Centre, I was in there today, and it's chaos, really, isn't it?
Oh, it definitely is.
People running everywhere like insects, swarms of them.
It's like, why is everyone, where do you gotta go?
Yeah. But I'm going in the middle of that cacophony and noise, because we've got an Arndale Centre in Manchester, and it was just built. And I thought, you know, there's people with problems, there's people running around, there's this, you know, mass thing when we all get together, like a bunch of bees in these shopping centres. But I'm going, this is what life's about, you know, it's a harmony in my head in that way, you know. You know, it's a vocal percolation presence of people with all their things, you know, and the noise of people. You know. And that's really what it's saying. It's like, well, you know, some people have got problems, people have got this and all that. When you put it all together, it makes this, you know, like a coffee percolating of sound, you know. And you go, that's what they call life, you know.
Yeah. That's a fantastic analogy.
So that's really what it's about. It's very abstract.
Bands like Green Day, REM, Nirvana were all influenced by Buzzcocks. The list is just absolutely endless. To you, who's an artist where you discovered that they were a fan of yours and you kind of just freaked out?
Yes, in some ways it feels like we became a band's band in some ways, if you see what I mean. You know, kind of met a lot of these bands, and they go, "Wait, we was influenced by the Buzzcocks when we started, or an influence when we set out doing our thing and making records. You didn't think it'd be influencing other bands, you know. So that's a great compliment. But when you look at, I mean, the first time we went to New York, we had the Ramones there, you know. And they go, "We love you guys," you know. And we're thinking, we love you guys too, you know.
The feeling is mutual.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the Ramones said you take it in different areas, you know, because they're very linear and one-dimensional in some ways. But that's what's great about the Ramones, you know. But with us, they was quite fascinated that, you know, we'd start off a bit linear and take it into other areas, you know. So they were like that about us. But it is a great compliment that we have influenced a lot of bands, really, you know. But like I say, that's something you don't really set out to do.
Yeah.
It's only down the line you think, hold on, you know, people that are making music have been listening to the Buzzcocks, you know. And sometimes in some of their stuff you can hear the echoes of it, the little riffs and the this and that, you know, the backing vocals, you know, these little bits. That's very Buzzcockian, if you like.
I like that, Buzzcockian.
Yeah. But you kind of hear it in some songs. You think, oh no, that's a bit like us in some ways, you know.
To wrap everything up today, is there anything you want to say to all of the Buzzcocks fans out there who are going to be viewing?
Well, really, I mean, the first few years, it was like, for me, it's like Picasso. He'd make the paintings and then you know, make of it what you will, you know. It's only all these years down the line I'm thinking, do you know what? A lot of people have been with us on the way, and like, you really appreciate more now. When you see them up there, I'm more interested in the crowd now than what I'm playing, really. So you can listen to the record at home, you know. But I'm looking at people going, oh, you're talking to him, and he, you know.
And I saw that tonight.
Yeah.
You're pointing at people. The interaction's
yeah.
amazing.
And that dispels a lot of things, but it also creates a lot of things, you know. And it makes me feel easier as well. I'm sure it makes them feel easier. It's like we can get closer to communicating in some way, you know. But that took me a long time, because initially the punk rock thing, it was like the delivery, the message and the seriousness of it, and it still is, you know. I'm still a serious guy underneath, but it's like when you get older, you look at a broader picture, and you know, got to relate to people in a different way now, you know. I ain't 19 doing this, you know what I mean? And going, oh, yeah, you know, the world's wrong or something, you know, the world's a complex place, so it's like, well, let's look at it in different ways, you know. But it also tries to bring that, like we started with the magic, you know, by doing that, you know. But it's not a conscious thing I do that. It's just like, come on, folks, the game's up here. Let's just communicate with each other, you know. It's not an act. It's not show business an act, you know. It's like we're real people playing the guitars, and if there's a mistake or the amp goes down, that's the real stuff, you know. And I'm sure our audience know that, so that's cool, you know what I mean? It's not like you have to come out with like big stage scenery and hide behind things and all that, you know, smoke and all that stuff. It's still back to basics underneath, yeah. When I was in Chicago, I went to Chess Studios for the first time in my life. That was amazing. But all those guys were simple guys. Chuck Berry had a massive influence on me. And, you know, you heard about Muddy Waters and all that, and old people like that, Willie Dixon. All through the back of a Rolling Stones record, really it was, you know. But it was great to be there, you know. That was, you know, music for the heart and soul, very simple, you know. And I think that's what you need, really, you know. It's just connecting with people, really, you know. And not bullshitting with some highfalutin thing, you know. I mean, they know that they can meet us in the street and we won't be running away, you know. we're not Madonna or Lady Gaga. I'd say you could come and have a pint with us, you know. We don't have to hide behind some smoke screen of like, we're not of this world kind of people, you know.
That's awesome. I just want to say thank you for chatting today, and just thank you for 40 years of magic with Buzzcocks.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.
It is my pleasure.
Thank you very much.
Remember, to everybody viewing, you can visit us at amusicblogger.com for all exclusive interviews, features, videos, and so much more with your favorite bands. We'll see you next time.